story short, working with your house.
Your house.
Long story short, working with your spouse is a hoot and a half.
A kick in the fanny.
A kick in the fanny. The best ever.
Never stressful.
I love him all the time.
Hey everyone, we are Flom Films. My name is Josh and this is my lovely wife, Lisa. We wanted to sit down here today actually because we get a ton of questions about working with your spouse, working with your wife or husband.
Oh,
I stepped on our foot. And so we figured we'd sit here and answer some of the fun questions we get on Instagram, and you guys just get to join us for the show. I don't know.
Yeah, let's go. So how do you guys split your workload? Who handles the back end? So this year I am learning basically how to shoot, to be Josh's second shooter, and the consistency helps. I've learned a lot in regards to kind of what he expects from a second shooter, what looks good, what doesn't look good.
As far as workflow goes, on the day of, we both split our duties pretty evenly. So from a technical side, I shoot everything gimbal, 35 millimeter. She shoots everything much tighter and more of those close, beautiful, intimate shots on an 85 millimeter. We handle both things usually at the same time. So we'll both shoot bride, both shoot groom. We do like to mic our bride, so a lot of times she handles that for obvious reasons. But then when it comes to post-process work, I actually handle the vast majority of that.
But I give him my critical opinion.
She does give me a critical opinion. It's usually right. Every time I try to challenge her on it, I typically find out that I was wrong, and so she has excellent opinions. And the best thing for me, and when she first shot with me, and why she shoots with me exclusively now, is she is truly the best second shooter I've had.
I feel like he has to say that.
I do have to say that. But she understands kind of what I'm looking for, and we kind of get that husband-wife brain sync where she sees me shooting this over here, so she's gonna move over here and shoot the same thing from a different angle and help me tell a better story.
This year's been a huge growth year for me, to figure out kind of how Josh works and then how I can just kind of come alongside him and work well together. The next question is, Lisa, what is one thing that Josh does at every wedding? This is a hard one because he does a lot of things. He runs around like a crazy person. His top priority is audio, so that's one thing that he focuses on when he's off kind of doing his, little check, one, 2. Making sure that everything sounds perfect, and that's a huge part of the wedding film. If you have great, beautiful pictures and the video is aesthetically pleasing, but you have wind in your mic and it sounds terrible, that's gonna ruin your film. Who was into this hobby first?
It's not a hobby, for starters.
It is a career,
yes.
And definitely not me.
No, I actually got into video 5 years ago. I left corporate, started doing video for my own personal joy, travels, family memories, things like that. Friends of mine started pointing out that I own way too much gear to call it a hobby. And it's dominoed from there. We do actually 50% wedding, 50% corporate, 100% on the video side. It's very much a job. It's actually my full-time job. And Lisa, she does have a full-time job. She works all week.
This is my hobby.
Yes, this is her hobby and my full-time job.
Yes. Ooh,
definitely not a hobby.
Here's a really good one. How do you handle disagreements when working together?
I apologize. Is that the right answer?
Yes.
We don't really have disagreements, more so just learning how to get better. Our only challenges we ever go through are, I did a good job on this, but I could have done this better. So we never disagree. We're more so calling each other
being able
higher.
to give that constructive criticism in a way that's not we don't take it personal. And I think that's still a learning curve. We've only been doing this for a year, so learning how to kind of say, hey, I don't absolutely love that shot. How do you say that in a way that is, well, maybe you could try this the next time, or that kind of thing. So
I would say the number one takeaway I've had after a year, and anybody who's looking at this video I'd give as advice, is weddings are a blast and we love what we do, but at the end of the day, she's my wife and that's priority number one. And so we always love our couples and we always want to do a great job for them, but if I ever have a disagreement, we handle that later and we make sure that she feels loved by the time she goes home and I feel loved when I go home. And if we do that, our couples are happy, we're happy, and our film is not happy, but it's great. Our film is great. Brownie points for Josh.
This one's to me and then we'll direct it to you. So what is your favorite part about a wedding day? Mine is always the first look. And like grooms that are emotional and like don't try to fight back their feelings towards their brides. And just like if we're really invested in the couple, it's so much fun to be able to tell their story. So I think you know, we take the time on the front end to get to know our couples, and then once we're there, it feels like way more like we're immersed in their whole day and their whole experience. So
That's a good answer.
thank you.
Mine is usually actually letters from the bride and the groom given to each other where they get to read them to each other. And that's because I love wedding films that tell a story. My favorite way to do that is through your eyes, your words. It's your wedding day, so I'd like to hear you speak in your wedding film. And letters is usually a great way to accomplish that. And it's usually the greatest way to see a bride or a groom cry. And I love tears because the second someone cries in a wedding film, the film just goes from here to here.
No, and he's like literally crying behind the camera.
I cry. I've definitely cried during letters and first looks. And we were crying. Janelle, who's over there, was crying.
Yeah.
Everybody was crying.
So the question is, how did you teach Lisa about video? How did you help her learn?
I am getting better at teaching. I was not super great at it to begin with. We actually shoot a lot of travel films and a lot of travel videos while we're doing our own personal life, and that's been a great way for her to learn, great way for her to understand exposure and settings.
I think just being able to now to learn how to pick up a camera, look at the lighting, and then figure out what to do. Like that was my biggest challenge, like looking at the exposure and the white balance and things, and I'm still learning that. But once I got that down, it helps also once I see him edit the things that I shoot, because I can see like, oh, I should probably put them in this third of the frame, because I'd never noticed that before until I, saw him editing it. So that helps kind of the learning too.
2 tips if anybody's wanting to have a team and wanting to learn together is 1, make sure they see what shots you're using of theirs and why. And then secondly, more of a gear tip, is buy a small HD monitor. It lets you see what's in focus, false color, peaking, all the video nerdy things.
That was critical for my learning.
Yeah. It allowed her to go from here to here very quickly. And even for me, game changer to use a small HD monitor. It's not sponsored, but use them. Your second shooter will love you for it.
So what do we love about working with each other?
Ask it again. I was just zoned out. Sorry. My favorite part is getting to do something I'm greatly passionate about with someone I love. So that's just a blast. I love crafting stories. I love telling impactful stories. I love making people laugh and cry. If I can accomplish that, I'm just jacked. And so being able to do that with someone who I love and understands the way I live and the way I operate and just what my heart is makes it so much more fun. Another thing I love is I once heard, no one will ever be as passionate about your business as you, which is 100% true, except for your spouse, where I love what I do, but Lisa loves it because I love it, and so we can kind of run alongside each other. That's the parts I love, is getting to live life, chase goals together, and ultimately we both want to honor God and bless people through our work, and we both have that same mission, which makes it a lot of fun. It was a long-winded answer.
Well, how the heck am I supposed to follow that?
Mic drop.
Honestly, we're just having a blast, and I think being able to learn and to learn more about each other through the work has been just so fun. And honestly, we get to experience a lot of the world together, and just it's awesome. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
She wouldn't trade it for the world. You heard it here. It's on tape. She can't stop it now. It's everywhere.
We've just got a question in online live via chat. Via chat. Yeah.
All right.
Janelle Greenall 251 says.
So the next question is, what is the funniest thing that's ever happened on a wedding day? And this one is just kind of stands out. My husband, a week after we got married, got hit on by one of the bridesmaids right in front of me.
We always tell them not to look at the videographers, and this girl's like, oh, so I shouldn't look at this handsome guy over there? And the bride goes, by the way, that's his wife, and they got married a week ago. She took it as a compliment, so
I guess.
Yeah, I'm a hunt. But honestly, I wouldn't say our business would be anywhere near where it is if it wasn't for Lisa being a part of it, being a husband-wife team. I love it, and it's definitely spoiled me that she's only unavailable once or twice a year, and it just bums me out when she can't be the one to shoot with me. So recommend it, get a spouse, and then make them shoot with you.